Your chance, Fancy Nancy, don't let me down. Oh, Fancy Nancy, don't you let me down. It's a very special day, and I'm right here to say, Fancy Nancy, don't let me down. Happy birthday, Fancy Nancy. All right, all you in the comments, you better start putting it in there. Happy birthday, Fancy Nancy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Fancy Nancy. And Tylee says happy birthday too. Happy birthday to you. I didn't know it was your birthday, Fancy Nancy, but I saw it in the comments. I'm like, man, I gotta run back here and do something. Y'all, I'm just getting up, obviously. Look at the old mug. Oh, Lord, I'm half asleep, half awake, but I'm very, very happy for Fancy Nancy's birthday. Danny better do something special for you on your birthday. Oh, Lord, y'all, I need about 3 or 4 more of these cups. Look, here's Kathy, Mama Bear, Artie at AC, Tina Reddington. Oh, Donna Donald, Eric Jasper, I Live for Now, Cindy Bullock. Oh, yeah, y'all. Fancy Nancy. Oh, she's the best. She is. Hello, Teresa Moore. He took her to the beach, y'all. Fancy Nancy, did y'all get any sand caught in some areas, maybe? Did y'all build you some lovely sand castles, huh? Oh, Lord. So, obviously, y'all, Fancy Nancy's going to have to leave here shortly. She's got a beautiful day ahead of her. I want you to have the best day of all. And just quickly to note what I had put on the community wall. I just want to be clear with all of y'all. I felt like Kathy and Fancy Nancy was shouldering all the burden. All we're trying to do is get together. All of us are trying to get together and all that. And I felt like they just had too much on them, too much pressure. Now, they might disagree because I know they're tougher as nails. But OKJ does not want anyone to feel like they can't come on this channel and just enjoy being there without having to deal with all this modding, right? So that's why I reached out, y'all. When I reach out for help, you know, it just is something I've got to do. And I want to tell all those that commented on that post, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to take all that into consideration and hopefully we'll get something done anyway. But Rusty Dog says, good morning, mate, from Australia. Donna Donald says, I'll help if you need me. I do not see the post. Cindy Bullock says, Artie and AC, good to see you. Baby Kia says, how are you doing? I'm doing good, even though I just rode out of bed a little short time ago. For the most part on this channel, I don't give a rat's ass what anyone thinks of OKJ. I get called names all the time. I've got a thick skin, but I don't want people in the comments having to deal with the negativity that comes on here thanks to YouTube. Okay? And when I say this channel's growing, to me, y'all, and please don't take this wrong, I never wanted it to grow. It's not that growth. It's the fact that YouTube is setting it up where people, you know, more people are showing up. And I'm okay. Everyone is welcome, but this channel isn't for everyone. And so it does get a little tedious when you got people popping on saying negative, derogatory things when this channel was set up to get justice through understanding, for people to feel safe on here. I know it's nearly impossible in this world inside of a world, but the bottom line is I got to do what I can do, and if it doesn't work out and it doesn't fix the problem, at least OKJ knew I tried, okay? Eric Jasper says, thank you, ladies, and I'm so sorry if people are giving the chat or KJ a hard time. Yeah, hello, VixTex. Baby Kia, yeah, it's just a normal day in life, at least for this old Tennessee woman, okay? That we've got people from all over the country and all over the world on this channel, different time frames and this and that. So I don't know what's going on in their world unless they want to share that. And KJ just wants everyone to know that, you know, this channel is a blessing to me. I have no ulterior motive other than just to get with the Rays and others for the right reasons, right? Good morning, Hope Grace. And y'all, Fancy Nancy's going to have a beautiful birthday today, and I'm so happy about that. Cindy Bullock says, this is the best channel. Well, there you go, Cindy Bullock. I've made you a moderator. You said you'd do it. So anytime I know the names, and I know the people pretty much. So Cindy Bullock, congratulations. You're going to be a standard moderator for when you can come. Now listen, I'm only doing this mod and stuff, asking people to do it. I'm not asking you to, oh, this is KJ's schedule, because y'all know good and damn well I don't have a schedule. I would love to say I would come Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, but y'all, when have I ever been consistent about anything, which is another problem with asking anyone to mod. I don't know the schedule. I don't know if I'm going to come on, when I'm going to come on, and that can be stressful for people if they've said, yes, I want to help. So the bottom line is I'm going to do what I can do to kind of give some kind of conformity here, y'all. But folks, my life is just as, you know, going on as anybody else's. And you never know from day to day what's going to happen. Right, Looney Shrooms. Consistently inconsistent. Definitely. Good morning, Dash and Womble. How are you? I don't know if you wanted to scroll down on the community wall, but I found out what a womble was. I actually posted a picture of them. I didn't know that womble, I mean, I thought the word was, you know, I'm like, there's got to be something to that, right? Good morning, Beach Lady. Congratulations, Beach Lady. You are now a standard moderator. Good morning, everyone. Y'all, we've got some things that I want to talk about today. VixTech says, pay it no mind. Folks are a little bit testy. The full moon is tomorrow, so, you know, that's VixTech's take on it. Yes, David, I found that out. The Wombles are from England. I didn't even know that. Okay, you have to scroll down a little ways, though, okay? It just shows a picture, and then I said that you had shared that. But you'll have to scroll some, because what? It's been a few weeks anyway, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Hello, Hugh Janice. Hello, David Vickers. The Wombles of Wimbledon Common. That's right, Dashing Womble. I learned something new, and I venture to say for the Rays and others on here that's been here for a long time, whether it was directly or indirectly, we've all learned stuff that we didn't know. And that's a plus. You know, anytime that you can learn something that you didn't know. Because, you know, I am the poster child of ignorance when it comes to all worldly things and things that are going on. Even at my age at 53, I'm still learning. Hello, Hendrick. Congratulations, I live for now. You are now a standard moderator. Donna Donald says, I'm educated every time I tune in. Well, folks, y'all have educated OKJ. Y'all have helped me for what? Almost at least 5 years. I mean, you know, do everything and say everything that we have. Dashing Womble says, I'm still learning at 60. Listen, y'all said y'all wanted to mod. I don't want to push it on nobody. I asked for help. And even the ones that couldn't do it, who didn't comment or no offense or nothing. I understand. But let me just be clear about modding on this channel. You don't have to be here every time the live stream opens. You've got a life going on. You've got things going on. KJ's not going to take offense to that. I'm just not going to narrow it down to 1 or 2 people and have them shoulder all the burden of it, because it is a burden, y'all. When you got all these people that come on this channel that don't want to say anything nice or positive or even listen to what's being said on here. They just want to insert themselves. And you know, I venture to say that because this is a public, because I haven't made it private yet, I don't know if that's something I've been seriously considering. That there are people that have come on here by accident. It ended up being some of the most wonderful people. And that, that's a blessing. That's a miracle to me. And so, yeah. April Gann, we never stop learning, says April Gann. So we are, y'all. We're going to continue to get justice through understanding, whatever that means to you. As many of you know, we are at a standstill with the Donna Adelson case. Her backup legal team there got booted by Judge Everett because they were connected with Dan Rashbaum. And she's got to get a whole new legal team. But make no mistake, y'all, Dan Rashbaum's looking for one that maybe he's got some attorney friends that he wants them to have their pockets lined with the Adelson money there. And he'll have a say-so in her new legal team, but he'll make sure that it's no conflicts there or anything like that. And y'all, they'll have to get up to speed on the whole case. The question of whether or not Dan Rashbaum's going to share any of his work product with these new attorneys, that's something I just don't know would happen. So, Dashing Mama says, I found your channel by accident a few weeks ago. I love coming to your channel. Well, thank you, Dashing Womble. I think you're a very level-headed person. You're very real. You don't put on airs. You don't do anything like that. You're just down to earth, and that's a good thing, right? We need more people out here in the world that are not going to be some freaking show all the freaking time. Just normal, everyday people. That's refreshing. That's real. That's what people need. They don't need all, hey, I love entertainment just like the next person. But there is a line there for me. I want to know, reality. You get too caught up in the entertainment world, and the next thing you know, you don't know what's real and what's not. It's called media influence. And I did my thesis on it in college. My dissertation, however you want to say it. And Denise Gray, thank you. I made you a mod a while back, so thank you so much. So what are we going to talk about, y'all? Now that Donna Adelson's on hold, we know that Sarah Boone they're in the middle of jury selection on that. It's not too much that we haven't gone through when it came to jury selection in the last case. We learned a lot about the jury instructions, the voir dire process. We learned all those things. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse on that. So we will wait and see what happens with Sarah Boone. Then we got this woman who killed her husband and burned his body in a burn pile. I've dipped in on that, and it's just, when you look inside that house and see how beautiful it is and how much money they had and all that, it's just, To me, it's just so unfortunate that people cannot see their blessings. Because make no mistake, there are people out here homeless. They just broke up a tent city in Nashville, Tennessee, of people that have been living there homeless. So, I mean, and these people have all this money and all of this, whatever, these material things. They've got beautiful children. Everything's going good. And then they go off the deep end and shoot their husband and throw him in a fire. And make no mistake, as far as that fire is concerned, she had to stir it. She had to stir it. April Gans says, seems like she got around a little for an older gal. Yeah, well, it was brought to my attention that she had some guy she was cheating on her husband with who lived in Tullahoma, Tennessee. That's probably about 30 minutes down the road from here. Whoever this rusty fellow is, I mean, the defense is trying to say it's one of the sons. And that's a good defense because it seems to me that the father was so good about giving his family money and stuff like that. And this is how he gets repaid, at least by his wife. And he himself was having at least an emotional kissy affair with one of his secretaries or something since 1995. So he's not lily white. This woman ain't lily white in terms of their morality and stuff. I mean, the things they're doing. But the bottom line is from what I'm gathering so far, y'all, I'm not so easy to say they're guilty, they're guilty, they're guilty. But it doesn't look good for her. And there's always that question, like, why would the state bring the case in the first place if they didn't have at least circumstantial evidence, stuff like that? So, I mean, they've got blood in the house and everything else. So how could he have fallen in the fire or shot? I mean, they didn't find the gun in the fire, so he didn't commit suicide. But then again, you know, this could be common sense that a lot of times when these people go on trial, they're like, man, they're guilty as hell. I mean, the evidence is stacked against them. Most of the time it's because they don't want to accept a plea deal like Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone didn't want to accept any plea deal, so they have to take them to trial. It's their right. Due process, all right, by trial jury, blah, blah, blah. Billy says, so for some reason, I don't always get notifications for lives. I did get one now, so here I am. Well, I'm glad you're here, Philly. It's Fancy Nancy's birthday today. You wish her a happy birthday. Fancy Nancy, I'm so happy for you. Oh, you're just going to have to share with us what Danny does for your birthday, unless it's something personal. Cindy Arnold says, good morning, y'all. So, what are we going to learn today? Now that, you know, I'm sure y'all, a lot of y'all are going to want to get to these gavel-to-gavel live trials. There's also the Quentin Simon thing. I want to beat that woman's head in. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a very nonviolent person, but this Leilani Simon woman, she's pathetic. She can just, somebody needs to really, really get her, I'll say it like that. But, so you'll be going to other trials and stuff, but OKJ's here to get a little justice to understanding. And it's usually about application. Y'all know I usually take a criminal case and lay it up against some factual data. Most importantly, such as peer review articles and psychology. You know, I don't just, it's not just some kind of snazzy thing when I say and just a little psychoanalysis, right? I really try to demonstrate my learning on things that I've learned through these criminal cases. Now, Mickey Kiker had put in one of the comments, and I'm not even sure which video it was. Mickey Kiker, and I don't even know if Mickey will even show up on this one or not, had said something about projection. Y'all, most of y'all know what projection is. You know, where somebody projects what's going on in here to somebody else. For instance, a man is cheating, or a woman, but we'll just say a man is cheating, and he keeps blaming his wife, saying he thinks she's cheating on him. Well, it's his guilty conscience and things going on in him. He's projecting. He's projecting what's going on in here. Madam August Butterfly says, one day I'd love to tell you about my illegal eviction that I was able to take my landlord to Supreme Court, and I'm poor. God has his ways, though. Well, yeah, I'd love to hear that, Madam August Butterfly. So anyway, back to this projection. That gave me an idea, and I thought, well, could I lay this projection, the psychological term, up to a criminal case? And which one would it be? First of all, I wasn't going to do it with the hussy because it was never about projection to her. She is just demon-possessed, evil, wrong. Yes, she was blaming Tylee. She was blaming, and that's part of projection. But for the most part, if you really listen to all the words that we talked about, because I went back and listened to myself, I haven't heard this hooker's voice on audio. I just went back and listened to what I had read out. She really isn't, I mean, she's blaming Tylee. She isn't really blaming anyone else. She doesn't go into the projection. I mean, because I was like, okay, she's blaming Tylee. How is that projection? And I came up to the conclusion that this is a narcissistic woman, evil, demon-possessed, and projection doesn't apply to her because she's so focused inward that she cannot take what's inward and put it on to somebody else. But some would say, KJ, she blamed Tylee for JJ's death and her own. Well, yes, she did do that. And you have to ask the question why she did that. She didn't do it because it was an unconscious thing, which is part of the actual factual parts of projection. She did it so that she could look good to other people. And that's not really per se what projection is all about. Now, projection is the process of displacing one's feelings onto a different person. The term is most commonly used to describe defensive projection, attributing one's own unacceptable urges to another. For example, if someone continuously bullies and ridicules a peer about their insecurities, the bully might be projecting their own struggle with self-esteem on to the other person. Now, the concept emerged from Sigmund Freud's work on defense mechanisms and was further refined by his daughter Anna Freud and other prominent figures in psychology. So projection is an unconscious. It's not like Lori was sitting there going, oh, I'm gonna put this off on Tylee. That is called projection. No, it's not. It's unconscious, okay? Unconscious discomfort can lead people to attribute unacceptable feelings or impulses to someone else to avoid confronting them. Projection allows the difficult trait to be addressed without the individual fully recognizing it in themselves. They don't want to look at themselves. And again, it's an unconscious thing. I'm learning this stuff too, y'all. Because in my mind, before I really looked at it, I thought, oh, they're trying to blame someone else for their faults. And I thought it was on a conscious level, but it's an unconscious thing, y'all. So this could happen to anyone, and it's probably happened to me and you. We've probably done some projection in our life, y'all. I'm not sitting here up on no damn high horse. If I really searched and did some self-care and realized, because once that unconscious stuff that I didn't know was going to project at the time, I can look back and say, you know what? That was me unconsciously doing that, but I didn't know it at the time. Now I know. Because what, y'all? I'm educating myself about it. Projection can occur in a variety of contexts, from an isolated incident with a casual acquaintance to a regular pattern in romantic relationships. But learning to recognize and respond to projection can help people understand and navigate social conflict. Now, how can you're like, well, KJ, why are we even talking about this? Folks, if you're into the criminal genre of trials and all that, and you see the defendants, wouldn't you want to be able to understand whether they were projecting things out? Was Sarah Boone, when George hair was zipped up in the suitcase, was she projecting something, or was that all just the alcohol talking? Whatever, y'all. This is a learning experience, and this can help you in the crime genre community. So how can you tell if someone's projecting? If someone has an unusually strong reaction to something that you say, or there doesn't seem to be a reasonable explanation for their reaction, they might be projecting their insecurities onto you. Taking a step back and determining that their response doesn't align with your actions may be a signal projection. Although it's difficult to do so, individuals who experience this can try to remember that the critiques are about the other person and to be confident in who they are outside of whatever type of relationship, whether it's acquaintance, romantic, close friendship, etc., etc. Now, how do narcissists use projection? And again, I believe Lori is narcissistic. It's in her mental health diagnosis. This isn't coming from me. This came from her work up there. And I just don't feel like she did projection because she's demon possessed, y'all. That's me though, But you might disagree, and that's okay, because this, how do narcissists use projection? You might listen to what that is coming out of my mouth and think about how Lori's behaved and think, you know what, KJ, you're wrong. She's projecting. Narcissistic people often resort to projection to protect their self-image. Complaining about how someone else is so showy or always needs attention is one example of how a narcissist might project. They may also blame others for things that have gone wrong rather than taking responsibility themselves. As the narcissist projects more shame and criticism onto another person, that individual's self-doubt often grows, leading to a self-reinforcing cycle, i.e. gaslighting these people. I did not hear Lori projecting onto Kobe. She wasn't accusing Kobe of doing anything wrong. That's another reason why I don't think that she had projection. But how would you, or KJ, how would we respond if we finally understand that someone is maybe unconsciously projecting onto us? How are we supposed to respond to these people? Setting boundaries can help you respond to projection. Responding with clear statements such as, I disagree, or I don't see it that way, can deflect the projection and may prompt the person to reflect or take responsibility. Well, I'll tell you what, if that's the case that Lori was projecting to Kobe, he made it clear, I don't see it your way, I disagree. As far as her taking responsibility, she didn't do shit about that. What would she have reflected? No, because to reflect on herself and to reflect on the way she's doing things would mean some sort of self-care, and the hussy is not going to do anything with reality in mind. She's just not. She's going to stick to her recorded loop in her head about how everybody's wrong and she's right. So moving from the hussy, which I'll leave that in the question is, did the hussy project? As far as the definition of that, right? You decide for yourself. If you don't want to decide, if it don't matter to you either way, that's fine too. Well, let's go to another person, okay? Let's go to Bullhorn Betty. How about that? Y'all want to go to Bullhorn Betty? Does Bullhorn Betty project onto other people unconsciously? Well, a specific detail of her last hearing, she absolutely wore a shirt that had a message on it, and the judge was not happy about that and told her to change her shirt. And I'm not sure what that shirt said, whether it was a picture of Seth or Christopher Proudfoot or if it had words. I just don't know, okay? But she said that was the judge. That was the judge trying to silence her free speech and all that. Well, the woman needs to learn about etiquette in court. And in this day and time, y'all, some of these messages that people want to wear on their shirts to go to court hearings and things of that sort, they're distracting. The judge does not like that, and that is why, I mean, I think they did the same thing in Chad and Lori's trial. They wouldn't allow anyone in there, even though we all would have liked to have had pictures of JJ and Tylee on our shirt if we were to have attended something like that. The bottom line is there etiquette in court, and she didn't follow the etiquette. So with that being said, Bullhorn Betty, she, I've been keeping a little tabs on it because I wanna learn something from her. Obviously, the way she's going and the road she's going down, most specifically, calling out Tennessee as corrupt and all the people in Tennessee. They all have these little small towns, so they're all corrupt. She is, that's bigoted, racist stuff right there. She has no right to put everyone into the same basket and call Tennesseans what she has. So that's drawn my attention. And then again, I'm like, well, why would she do that? Why would she say that everyone's corrupt and she's right and they're corrupt? And what does projection have to do with it? So in one of her latest videos, she actually, her response to having those 4 orders of protection put against her, she lost out. She got her ass nailed to the wall in that hearing. She had been telling her followers for at least a month before that October 10th hearing that it was all going to go away and all that. Well, it didn't go away, all right? But in her response, she talked about her shirt. She talked about her shirt. She showed it on her channel where it says, I've been lied on, plotted against, bullied, and still standing. That's what was on the shirt. And then she went on to tell her followers there that was the Bullhorn Betty way. Well, I got to looking at that phrase and I thought, okay, lied to. She's been lied to. Well, I'll tell you what. She's sitting there saying other people has lied about her and stuff. She has done nothing herself but lie about other people. Okay? Specifically about law enforcement. That judge doesn't know the law. She's talking about the Proudfoots, the Bowersocks. She's saying all these negative things about different YouTube creators and stuff like that are not true. And yet she has a shirt that says, I've been lied to. She says that she's been plotted against. Well, I mean, it seems to me that she has plotted her path. And not just in this case. There's a pattern that's been going on for a couple of years now where she plots her plan. The one that, the one that gets the most clicks, the more people to give her money. She's plotted what she has plotted. I mean, if somebody on here wants to tell me that Bullhorn Betty has not plotted anything, I think you need to go back and look over the last couple of years of how she has implemented her plans, i.e. plotted a plan and executed it, all right? So not only now is on her shirt lied to when she's lied to people, she says people have plotted against her, she's plotted against other people. Now she says she's being bullied. But everybody knows, everyone damn well knows that she has been the one that's been bullying these families of missing children. She's the one with the bullhorn. She's the one that's been bullying everyone. And yet here she is. She's lied to people, she's plotted against people, and she's bullied people. But poor Bullhorn Betty, she's had all these things happen to her. Give me a break, y'all. And then she says, and I'm still standing. All right, that's a positive thing, right? Somebody's still standing and stuff. How can that be? How can that be that she is still standing when in ultimate fashion and fact, she has done nothing but project what she does onto other people? So yes, she is standing, but she is standing in a place where she doesn't even, whether she does on a conscious level or not, which I don't believe she does. I believe she thinks she's completely right, everything's right about it, and all that. She's standing on quicksand. Because, y'all, I'm just going to tell you this, all right? And y'all can correct me on November 20th if I'm wrong, but I'm going to tell you right now, she's going to get jail time. Now, whether the judge suspends that, I don't know. But she is going to get jail time on November 20th on those 6 violations of order of protection. Okay? And I don't know, but I hope she'll get some community service too. So she can scrub a few Tennessee toilets, public toilets there. She wants to talk her smack about the people of Tennessee. Let her go. Get the shit stains out of the toilet bowl. You know, get the pee-pee off the toilet lid. Make sure to get to the base of the toilet there, Betty. You know, where people have dripped down there. And you know, the bottom line is that Bullhorn Betty, in my opinion, is going to get jail time. Now, whether they get suspended or not, I don't know. But if any of y'all keep up with what old KJ says, I told y'all that the judge was going to nail her ass to the wall. And that's exactly what happened on October 10th. So switching from Bullhorn Betty, now that Bullhorn Betty pretty much, and you know what? You can have any view you want on whether her free speech rights were violated or not. I guarantee you that judge knew the law. He's not going to do something. Y'all, there are judicial advocacy groups that watch these whole trials and things. They would know if something's done wrong. And if Bullhorn Betty really, truly felt like, and her frizzle and frizzle attorney there thought that her First Amendment rights had been violated, well, let's just see if they file that appeal. Because I think there's bigger fish to fry in terms of Betty's wallet. She's got to pay off the Proudfoots of the Bear Sox's attorneys, her attorneys, court costs, all of that stuff. She's got to do that. So I don't know that the appeal for her First Amendment rights is a priority for old Andra Griffin there. So going from there, she's not going to be able to do what she used to do. But she's still putting Sebastian Rogers' name in the comments. I have not listened thoroughly since these 4 orders have been put on her. But it's obvious that when the judge told her at the last hearing that she needed to walk out of that courthouse and these people did not exist to her and that she didn't need to be talking about them anymore, it's obvious that she don't give a shit what that judge has said because she's gone on to do it since then. And would the judge look at that stuff if the state brought it to him and said, look, she's continuing to talk about it after you told her not to talk about it? Would he lay the hammer down on the 20th for that? I don't think he would call that out. I don't think they would play it in court where she's talking about the judge is corrupt or the judge doesn't know the law. I don't think they would even play that in there. That's too prejudicial. But he could very well have heard it all and craft it in with sound legal decisions there. I mean, it'd be different if she left court on October 10th and never talked about it again like the judge said. And he saw her up and, her behavior looked like it was, everything was going to be okay now. That's all over and done with. She's moved on and all that. November 20th rolls around. He might have said, well, she's not showing signs of any, doing any of this. Because, folks, it really comes down to the people that's listening to her. She can say all she wants. I didn't go to the house or, I didn't meet them face to face and all that. Well, you don't have to meet someone face to face to be stalking them, okay? That's in Tennessee Code Annotated. We'll get to that here in a minute. But let's go to now an indirect way of getting to the Proudfoots and the Bowersox, which would be Seth Rogers and this Tony Mathis fella. They did an interview on Vinnie Politan. It's been since taken down. But OKJ did write a few notes about it, why it was up. I mean, it's not on their playlist on Court TV, but other YouTube creators, I suppose, downloaded it. You could look for it. This interview was seething. It was absolutely hate-filled from Seth Rogers and Tony Mathis the same evening after Bullhorn Betty got slammed to the wall by that judge, okay? So this is a game to them. This is Tony Mathis and Seth Rogers here. They know that Bullhorn Betty didn't win, and he sat over there with her, being her advocate and all that. Well, in Seth Rogers' mind, he's lost because Bullhorn Betty's lost. Because she, he says, was one of his voices. So if she was one of his voices, does it seem like common sense that he could be one of her voices indirectly to the Proudfoots and the Bowersox? Huh? There is people that's online saying that when they did this interview, they were sitting in Bullhorn Betty's hotel room giving the interview. Whether that is substantiated or not, I don't know. But many people are saying it was. Said that she was there. But this interview, after the decision on granting the 4 orders of protection on Bullhorn Betty, they get with Vinnie Politan, and I just can't believe Vinnie let them speak this way. This is so much defamation against the Proudfoots and the Bowersox. But Tony Mathis says that entire family lied under oath to get those protective orders. And if you think about that, y'all, think about that. If they lied under oath, then that would have been bared out just as it was bared out of the 9 minutes that they played of Bullhorn Betty in the court that actually did what? It corroborated their, when they got on the stand under oath. The judge looked at that. That was Bullhorn Betty's videos, okay? He looked at those and he listened to what they said on the stand, and they corroborated one another, okay? So that 9-minute video collage of Bullhorn Betty's that was entered into evidence of her behaviors and actions, it also did what? It showed that Bullhorn Betty lied on the stand, and here Tony Mathis is saying that entire family, the Proudfoots and the Bowersox, lied on the stand, and yet Bullhorn Betty was the one that lied. So, I mean, if that's not a classic example of projection, I don't know. I don't think that Tony Mathis sat there going, I'm going to project, or I'm going to blame them even though I know they're not to blame, or something like that, y'all. This is, to me, projection. So then Tony Mathis says, this family has spent more time silencing people. These were his words. This family has spent more time silencing people than looking for Sebastian. Okay, how about this, y'all? How about this? First of all, I'll get this out here. She ain't found shit. Bullhorn Betty ain't found nothing. She ain't even done it, really. She's gone to a couple of bridges for just, good click and bait and everything else. She ain't looked for Sebastian Rogers. She ain't done it. And somebody tell me how she found any missing child, ever. But putting that aside, Seth and Tony, them right there, Seth and Tony both sent out cease and desist letters to some YouTube creators, okay, and others. And these people, presumably, were talking about the Sebastian Rogers case. Well, here they are, cease and desist. And yet, they're saying this family has spent more time silencing people? Well, they've silenced people themselves. Give me a break, y'all. Give me a break. I mean, if we put aside projection, How about the hypocrisy? How about that? So here we go where Vinnie Politan actually lets Seth say this. I think it's the reason they took it down. But Seth says, Chris and Katie did something to my son. They're using Sumner County to cover it up and hide themselves from the actual law. So what is he saying here? If we have to take his words for that. So these two people, Seth and Christopher here, just regular people, normal, everyday people that don't have any connections with any political, nothing. They're just people living everyday life. Somehow, they've got Sumner County. They're hiding behind Sumner County. Let me tell you something, folks. There are veteran people that have been in law enforcement who work for the judicial system, whether they work in the courthouse, whether they're attorneys, whether they're judges, whether they're administrators, whatever. And Christopher and Katie can hide behind these people. How can they hide behind somebody who does not know they're hiding behind them? So that's i.e., they think Sumner County's corrupt, just as Bullhorn Betty was saying. Seth is saying that they did something to Sebastian. He should be ashamed of himself to do that, not knowing. He does not know. Now, if it's bared out down the road they did something, I'm still going to say at the time that he made this statement to Vinnie Politan, he had no right to do that. And this isn't about, I want to be right. I want to be right. I want to be on this side. I want to be on this side. This is about a young boy who, y'all, if you look at the seething nature of Seth toward his ex-wife, I mean, he brings up, the Department of Children's Service report, I had to get an attorney to get it. Did he bring up his own? How about his own report? No. Yeah. Seth Rogers has his own report on himself from DHS. And yet all he wants to bring up is his ex-wife. You know what I think? I think he is jealous and hateful and vengeful and resentful that his ex-wife didn't want to be with him anymore. That's what I think. That's what I think. They're using Sumner County to cover it up and hide themselves from the actual law. Well, I guarantee you, you cannot hide from the actual law when your ass is being taken into a courtroom and seen by a judge. Okay? And in other cases, a judge and jury. Okay? Then Seth says they have spent more money trying to get people not to speak about Sebastian. Well, I'll tell you what, Seth Rogers. How much did you and Tony Mathis have to pay for those cease and desist letters? Were they freebies? What, did Dog the Bounty Hunter decide to help you out there? Sethy boy, I mean, now that you've got the braids, you want to be your own Dog the Bounty Hunter. You see the dog, flamboyant Dog the Bounty Hunter, and so now you want to get your braids in there. Oh, he looks so pathetic, y'all. He does. These are just my opinions. What the hell, man? I ain't got nothing against the man having braids, but this guy, it don't look right on him. It looks like it cuts the circulation off to his brain. So he is saying that Katie and them have spent more money trying to get people to not speak about Sebastian. That's just not true, y'all. That's not true. First of all, the attorneys representing Katie and Christopher and the Bowersox is state. They're not paying. Basically, Bullhorn Betty has to pay the state back now. But they didn't have any private attorneys. This was a state attorney that decided to put this all together. So what money? What money have Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot and the Bowersox there? What money have they spent? They didn't have to spend any money to get to go and file a petition for order of protection. You just go into the freaking clerk's office and fill one out. And then the clerk there says under penalty of perjury, blah, 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 and they put their thing on there, they give them a court date, and they go from there. It didn't cost them a damn penny other than gas money to get in their car to go over to the courthouse to do it. And it says Katie won't come out publicly to ask for help. She doesn't love our son. Sebastian deserves a restraining order from those two psychopaths. And this is a statement on court TV that has been taken down. Let's kind of pick this apart a little bit. It says that Katie won't come out publicly to ask for help. Well, I'll tell you what, Seth, you're doing a good damn job of it. You go out publicly all you want. You got these stupid ass people like Bullhorn Betty doing all this stuff publicly. Is it just going past people that because the Proudfoots and the Bowersox are not out here doing the way Seth's doing, that perhaps they are just leaning in on the FBI, the TBI, and Sumner County law enforcement to do their job? You know, maybe, we already know, I do anyway, that they've already taken lie detector tests and passed them. They've worked with the FBI, they've done, but they've decided not to really get out of here. They've given a couple of interviews, but the bottom line is that they absolutely, because they're not out here like Seth in Bullhorn Betty's hotel room speaking to Benny Politan that she doesn't love her child. Maybe she's got confidence that law enforcement's going to actually do something to help find him. I mean, I don't know that to be true, but y'all, I don't believe. At this point, I don't. I don't believe that the Proudfoots did anything to Sebastian. And really, when you look at the seething nature of both sides and how they can't stand one another, no wonder. Maybe Sebastian got tired of their bullshit and met someone online and took off and don't ever want to come back. You know, that is just as valid of a theory as this bullshit of Seth saying that Chris and Katie did something to Sebastian. And he calls them psychopaths. Could this be projection maybe? Huh? Maybe, or is it just resentment, anger, jealousy, hatred? Why can't he just be neutral about Chris and Katie, the mother of Sebastian? Why can't he just be neutral and see what happens in the, as the law enforcement move forward and try to figure things out? Oh, he says, well, they were the last, the last he was seen was at their house and everything. So that equals that they did something to him? Y'all, that cannot be. Yes, in crime, they say that the last person to see somebody is important, but it doesn't say the last person that saw him is the one that murdered their ass. Give me a break, y'all. Then Tony speaks up on this Benny Politan thing, and he says, they lied about the stalking when Bullhorn Betty never met them in person. Well, Tony Mathis, Seth Rogers, or any of these other people that are, oh, Betty, oh, they lied about you, Betty. You didn't stalk nobody. Well, you don't have to see someone face to face in order to be charged with stalking. Tennessee Code Section 39-17-315, stalking, and I'm going to define it for you. And let's just keep in mind there's stalking and there's aggravated stalking. And aggravated stalking, guess what? Is when you are getting in their face and all this and that. It can be. I don't think that the judge ruled that the Bowersox where Betty got out of the car and was yelling at him right there can be considered aggravated stalking. Of course, that goes being face-to-face and also other actions, physical actions toward the victim or whatever. But stalking means, in Tennessee Code, and this is what the judge saw, and this is why the judge gave 4 orders of protection. Stalking means a willful course of conduct involving repeated or continuing harassment of another individual that would cause a reasonable person to feel terrorized, frightened, intimidated, harassed, or molested, and that actually causes the victim to feel terrorized, frightened, intimidated, threatened, harassed, or molested. It is a pattern of conduct composed of a series of two or more separate uncontinuous acts, evidencing a continuality of purpose. And she had a purpose. She had a purpose for everything she was doing, going to their house, traveling to Mississippi at the campgrounds, going to the work, Christopher Proudfoot's work. She had a purpose in all this. She was saying it on her channel. It was a continuous purpose. All right? Including but not limited to acts in which the defendant directly, which she didn't, at least Christopher and Katie, she did with the Bowerstocks, indirectly, which I believe she did, or through third parties, by any action, method, device, or means, follows, monitors, observes, surveils, threatens, or communicates to a person, or interferes with that person's property. So she damn well did. She monitored them, y'all. She was following them. She observed them, and she was letting all her sheep there know what she was doing. She was observing them. She was surveying them. She was doing that, y'all. She was going to that park in Mississippi, showing the RV and all that. She threatened them. She absolutely threatened them. She did not have to do this face-to-face according to Tennessee law. So Tony Mathis can blow it out his ass. Stalking does not mean you got to see that person face-to-face. And Christopher Proudfoot did say on the stand, I've never met her face-to-face. And guess what? A judge of many years who knows the damn law still gave the order of protection. He still felt like that Bullhorn Betty was stalking. So there you go on that. Vix Heck says, please continue to pray for Sebastian. Saltino Winchino says, talking about the Bullhorn Betty stalking harassment against Sebastian Rogers' mother and stepfather. We can all have opinions, but you can't blatantly tell lies about people. I guess the question is, Ann Gibson, when Tony Mathis and Seth Rogers did that interview with Vinnie Politan, did they know? Did they know, as it was coming out of their mouth, I'm lying to Vinnie? Or did they really believe this? And maybe unconsciously there, they were projecting things? You know? One has to ask. I think law enforcement and the FBI saw him talking to someone on the game system at Seth's, and Seth knows it. Well, there's also online where she actually did leave a message. Bullhorn Betty left a message for Christopher Proudfoot. That's online. You can find it. So she lied on the stand, but yet they're going to sit there and say that the Proudfoots lied on the stand. Give me a break. Give me a break. Eric Jasper wants to know, does anyone know if the criminal conspiracy investigation is still going on? I didn't know that there was a criminal conspiracy investigation, Eric Jasper. All I know is that law enforcement has come out to say that they have not seen any evidence of foul play, and that when they called off the search, they were going to go and do other investigative things. Now, if they said criminal conspiracy investigation, I never heard that, but maybe you can clarify. Again, I don't know everything. Y'all are the ones that helped me out. Right, Mr. Spar X6110. I don't know that there was ever, that I know of, a criminal conspiracy case. Donna Donald says the only criminal activity on the books is Betty, which, really, y'all, And with that being said, Donna, I mean, after that interview, and Court TV did take it down of Tony Mathis and Seth Rogers, it wouldn't shock me. I honestly don't think the Proudfoots would go for defamation or anything, but to sit there on a Court TV and say Seth Rogers saying he thinks Katie and Christopher did something to Sebastian, that's bad. And to call them psychopaths, call them liars. I mean, it just really doesn't reflect well on Tony Mathis and Seth Rogers. Because really, look at it. Look at it. Look what they're saying, to see the nature of what they're saying. And here we are. They're not talking. They're not talking about Sebastian. They're throwing his name in and out here. Katie doesn't love Sebastian. And he's not talking about what do we do next. This is what Dog the Bounty Hunter told me, and I want to share this with you, Benny. We're doing this. We've got this. We're raising money to do another search or anything like that. Mr. Sparks 610, this is a young 15-year-old autistic boy, Sebastian Rogers. He's been missing now over 6 months. Might even be going on longer than that. And the mother of Sebastian and the ex-husband are fighting. And then you've got this woman on YouTube named Bullhorn Betty who just got 4 orders of protection on her because she was going around saying that Katie, the mother of Sebastian, had murdered Sebastian and was stalking them. It was proven in court. She was driving up from Florida into Tennessee. She was following them over there to Mississippi at their campground when the stepfather was working, and just continuously getting her followers all riled up with a bunch of vitriol. And Bullhorn Betty is now got Seth's voice. Seth's the one that's going to come out now, which is the biological father of Sebastian. Eric Jasper says that Harley 62, 100%, and followed them around that day and sat and ate close enough in the restaurant that they took more pics and showed that little child, and that is never okay. Yeah, Liza Joe, she violated, she's got 6 violations of order of protection, okay? So that was 3 orders of protection, and Bullhorn Betty, according to the charging document, for each person that had an order of protection on her, there were 2. That's 2, 4, 6 charges. So she's got that November 20th. And guess what, y'all? Come hell or high water. I was at the lake last time. I couldn't go October the 10th because I was at the lake. But I promise you, as I look at you, I will be there November 20th to see what this judge does about her charges of 6 violations of order of protection. KJ's going to Sumner County, okay? Harley 62 says, Eric Jasper, any suspicions on Seth's side? Well, if people want to say the only reason that it's okay to accuse Katie and Christopher is that Sebastian was living at the house and he disappeared from there, and that because Seth, he wasn't living with Seth and Seth was somewhere else, that's short-sighted. Anything could have happened. If it could happen, if his theory was that Katie and Christopher did something to Sebastian, then it's just as viable to say that Seth did something to Sebastian. And no, Seth didn't have to personally do it himself. He could have got someone to help him. I mean, that's crazy, right? Well, it's also crazy to accuse Katie and Christopher and the grandparents without any evidence at all. Yes, there are suspicious circumstances, but suspicion doesn't always equal into guilt. Liza Joe says 6 times is good. I can't imagine her stalking a mama of a missing child for clicks and a bullhorn. Kathy Mama Bear says, hey mods, any mods on here, I really appreciate all of you and how hard you're working. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, says Kathy Mama Bear. And I appreciate you, Kathy. I really do. I really, I know that it has been hard for y'all mods on here. People want to show up on here and talk their smack. But anyway, we're just a little channel trying to get justice through understanding. And projection, I guess a projection, psychology-wise, can be a negative thing. I wonder if projection could be a good thing. I don't know that to be true. I think if you could understand looking back, if I can understand looking back, that perhaps, I'm pretty sure, actually I'm 100% sure there have been several times in my life that I projected something unconsciously onto someone else, not even knowing it. So, yep. Riley, happy birthday to you. It's our mod Fancy Nancy's birthday today, too. So anyway, y'all, I love you. Leave your comments. Thank you to all the mods. Thank you for all of the raising others that come onto this channel for the right reasons. We will continue to seek justice through understanding. We'll get into Sarah Boone, not real deeply, but we will do some of that. We're waiting on more news of Donna Adelson's new attorneys that she's seeking out at some point. And obviously, OKJ's always going to keep an eye on the things that really are teachable moments from that if I can learn something, I want to share it. So we'll leave it at that. I hope all of y'all have a great day. And, just remember one thing. As we learn on this channel, however we learn, we need to always keep on looking. You better believe it.